Hello, everyone. Good evening, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. I hope you guys are well. Please hit that like button as you come in. Good evening. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Um, Patricia says hello, Melody. Okay, so Melody isn't here. This is um, a commentary where I will be talking about Melody and some other people. So just FYI. Everyone, please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. So we have quite a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about some of the things that Melody posted on her story recently. We're going to get into that. I also want to get into Tisha exposing Ken for allegedly cheating. My thing is, of all the people that should be in charge of exposing somebody, freaking Ken, freaking Tisha is exposing Ken? Like, that is so far stretched out. I definitely think that she should have stayed out of it, but we will talk about that. I do also want to talk about the news that has come out from Queen Sheba about Dr. Heavenly and the whole plot with Simone. Now, for those of you who have been listening to my lives, you guys will know that even though I didn't have any sort of insider information, that was my initial feelings, and those are what I communicated to you guys. I told you guys that Heavenly made a comment that alluded to the fact that she was basically saying stuff to the higher ups and said what she needed to say. And that alluded to her doing exactly what she's been alleged of doing. We are going to get into that, but all I ask is that please hit that like button, and yeah, hit that like button, and of course leave a comment. Leave Sorry guys, 1 second. Leave a comment in the chat. Share this video as well so that other people can join in. Happy Monday. So I hope you guys have had a good day. Happy Monday. Hello everyone. Hi Kathy. Hello. Thanks for joining in tonight. Okay, before, let's just get into it. So let me start with Melody, because I know that's probably why some of the people came. So let's just get into it. Okay, let me share this screen. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, so Melody posted this on her page. She said, after you fast, the enemy is always going to do what the enemy does. I always tell you all to watch. I have been quiet because I've been focusing and taking care of some other things. I discovered that they were more important. Okay, so other things I discovered that were more important, but that doesn't mean I wasn't taking notes. Okay, so that's the first thing that she had to say. Hello to those who are just joining. Okay, so then she said, now see, I hadn't gone live and said anything, but since I supposedly did, without fact checking happening first, watch this. Okay, now, first of all, who do y'all think Melody's talking about? Because who has been out here trying to annoy Miss Melody Cherie, honey? Because who has been alleging that she said something that she didn't say? If you guys know, please put it in the chat. Because I was not privy to this. I didn't really know who she may have been referring to, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Put it in the chat. Who do you think Melody is referring to? Okay, so then she says, she says, after you fast, the enemy is always going to do what the enemy does. I always tell you all to watch. I've been quiet because I've been focusing and taking care of some things. I discovered that, hold on, I already covered that. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so I think I went back by mistake when I was recording this. Give me a second. So then she says that. Then it seems to move into this, which Then she reposted this that says, stay away from people who act like a victim in the problem they created. And this is such an important point because sometimes you always have these people who would start ish, they will stir it up. And then all of a sudden, when they have to deal with the implications and the consequences of what they have created, all of a sudden they are innocent and that was not their intentions. So yeah, I would definitely say it's very interesting that she's saying this. I'm very curious as to who she's referring to. Then she says, let me just then we see a little bit of her face. Sorry, I don't know why it keeps going back. Then she reposts this video by, I think her name is Mama Joyce. And it's basically saying, never in this life, let me try and make it slightly bigger. Never in this life can you be my friend if you can sit in the presence of my enemies and enjoy their company. Okay. And then Melody then says, now this is true. And don't be afraid to cut people off who do this. I did this happily and I promise it brought me back so much peace. And to be honest, I know some people say it's very petty, but I actually, in my experience, I found that it actually makes a lot of sense. If people are constantly hanging with all of the people that don't like you, especially the people that are so vocal about not liking you, then it's like they are definitely talking about you. They are finding opportunities to probably be over there laughing at you, talking about you. So what's the point in like being friends with people like that? Because one, they would carry anything you tell them, run it over to the other side, and it's just like, what really is the point? So that's what she then posted. So I believe she posted all of this on Saturday, right? And I just kept thinking, who could she be talking about? Hello, Mania Brown. Thank you for joining tonight. I don't think I've heard your name before. Are you new to the channel? Let us know if you're new to the channel. Everybody say hello to Mania. D says, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the usual suspect who is constantly lying on her. Now, D, does the usual suspect start with something like an M and the next letter is an A? Let me know, because that would be who I would think the usual suspect is. So if you have anybody else in mind that you think is the usual suspect and I'm wrong, please let me know. But if I had to choose one person, I would say this is definitely given that some stuff are happening in the background that she's probably not able to tell us at this point with good old Marty Mar. That's who I think it is. D says yes. Okay, so D and I are on the same page. That is definitely what it's given. The other thing I thought about was, could it be about that lady that came around recently in the last couple of, I think it was like last month or something, and was basically saying that she had some sort of beef with Mel. She was basically saying she wasn't treated well, something along those lines. So I wouldn't also I wouldn't be shocked if it was her, but I think the reason I don't think it's her is because this doesn't really give the impression, this gives the impression that this is someone that she has at least been close to, if we look at everything together, because it says, now this is true, don't be afraid to cut people who do this. And then if we go back to the start, she basically says she has been quiet, but doesn't mean she's not taking notes. And then this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because it says, I hadn't gone live and said anything, but since I supposedly did. So it sounds like whoever it is that she's talking about is somebody who she has in the past, who has in the past basically said or lied on her, or basically said something about her going live or her talking about it, because it's a specific point. I hadn't gone live and said anything, but since I supposedly did, without without fact checking happening first. Right? So it sounds like someone is basically accusing her of going live or on saying, or at least saying something that she didn't. And it's just like, when people go around accusing other people, it's like, yo, don't you at least get some proof? If you're going to be out here saying someone said something, the least you can do is find the proof to back what it is that you're saying up. And so I've never understood people who just do that and don't find any sort of proof to back what it is that they're saying. So, hello to those who have just joined. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. We're currently talking about melody, but we have a lot more to talk about today. So, it is going to be a long show. So, get a drink, hit that like button, and enjoy the show. Af Dallas, hey, it's been a while. It has been a while. Um, Listening from Dallas, how are you? It's been a while. I hope you're good. Alf Dallas 21 says, I kind of feel it's either Mari or Nell. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Now that would be interesting. I think I would not, it doesn't sound too far-fetched that it may be Nell. And the reason I say it may not be too far-fetched that it is Nell is because of this last point that she made, where she said, let me move it back there, where she talks about never in the life can you be my friend. Now, it's not her saying that, but this is what the lady said. Never in my life can you be my friend if you can sit in the presence of my enemies and enjoy their company. Then she says at the top, now this is true, and don't be afraid to cut people off who did this. I did this happily, and I promise it brought me so much peace. Now, we know her and Nell are not really friends no more. And I think that that is basically what Nell did, in my opinion, right? Just from outside looking in. So you may actually be onto something of Dallas by saying it may actually be Nell, because I don't necessarily think this will directly apply to Martell now that I think about it, unless she's talking about someone completely different when she talks about this as well, right? So, yeah, maybe I should put a poll up. Let me put a poll up. I'm not new, but are you referring to Tisha or Martell? Oh, so Manya says she's not new. Okay. But you are referring to Tisha or Martell. Yeah, so at the moment, I basically started off thinking it was Martell. But then this particular post makes me wonder if it is someone else, because it's talking about someone sort of hanging with the ops, right? So that's where it becomes a little bit tricky to decipher. And I'm now feeling like that one may not be about Martell. So, what I want to do is I want to put up a poll, because I feel like this is something I think I want to get to the bottom of and see what you guys think as to who the person is. So, I'll put up a poll. Give me a second, guys. I'm typing. It's just me tonight. Do you think I was referring to? Okay. Okay, so I just put up a poll. Please vote on the poll so I know who you think Melody is referring to. I actually wanted to also put one other person, but I there was no space for me to put everyone in, so I was just like, let me just put someone else in case somebody wants to vote. But right. Okay, so Karen says Ken ain't married, she should worry about her so-called husband. Okay. I think you are referring to Ken cheating allegedly. So yeah, we'll get into that. Catherine says just maybe it starts with a ST. Ooh, so Stormy, that was the other name that I was going to put in there, but I could not fit it in. So I just put someone else in case it is not any of these people at the top. So you guys keep voting. If you also think it's Stormy, put it in the someone else category. Um, Yeah, I definitely do wonder who it is. Guys, please hit that like button as you guys are voting. I'm looking at the votes. And so far, it looks like Nell is really leading. The people really believe it is Nell. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys keep voting, keep voting. Let's see who it finally ends up with. So far, Nell is still leading. The people think it's Nell. So Nell is still leading. Then after which it is Martell. So I'm just going to leave that there and show you the other things that Melody posted, and then we'll get back to the other stuff. We'll get back to the poll later on, but you guys keep voting so that I can come back and then see what the final result is. Okay, so this she posted on a different day, so more recently, saying it's so deep, and I will be sharing. I'll be sharing because I know it's some of you who are going through the same thing. Maybe don't even realize what is happening or why things seem off. What I will say for now is no weapon prospers over here. Now find somebody safe to play with. Melody is like, do not play with me. I'm not here for it. Okay. So let me see what she says next. And then she posted, now they're saying, oh, you're dressing up again today, or oh, you're filming today. Wait, hair and makeup is about to be here. Yeah, all of that. Oh, so I low-key feel like this is Melody also confirming that there is going to be a TV show. You guys remember that I talked about it a couple of days ago, and I was saying that could this be that there is going to be a TV show that Melody is going to be doing? And now the fact that she's saying, people are asking, oh, are you filming today? And she's like, yeah, all of that. That is given that there is a TV show that Mel is involved in. This is just my opinion. She has not fully confirmed it, but that is the vibe that I get from reading what Melody is saying over here. Now, let me see what the people are saying. For those who have just come in, please hit that like button, smash that like button. Don't be stingy with the likes today, honey, because this is happy news. We're talking about Melody Shari to begin with, and then we'll get into the other people that we will be talking about today. D says, I only deal with Melody from that cast because I stopped watching the show when Melody left. To be honest, you're right here in good company, because a lot of people that I also hear tonight no longer watch the show. They're just here to support Melody. And if Melody is filming, I cannot wait to see whatever project it is that she is doing. I hope it is a TV show, and I will find a way to watch it over here and promote the content for you guys. So we are going to be waiting. If anyone has some inside scoop, please don't hesitate to drop it over here. Alf Dallas says, my guesses are always wrong. Alf is so funny to me. Alf says, my guesses are always wrong, but the clues just seem like Nell more than any of the former cast members because of how Nell and Chris made it a point to hang out with Melody's ops. Exactly. That is what I really think it is. That's what I really think it is now. At first, I thought maybe Martell, but the more I saw the other bits about hanging with the ops, I started to think this definitely is giving very Nell, because Nell was the one that was really hanging with the ops. The only other person that I can see that was also hanging with the ops, which is Martell, is Stormy, who brought Martell onto her TikTok live thing, right? So I would say that's another person that I feel like was acting like an op, which is why I put someone else, because I was gonna put Stormy, but I was like, in case you all think it's some other person, let me just put that as an additional option. So I personally think it's either Nell or it is Stormy that she's referring to. And I think it would be very interesting to see if she does clear that up for us. Hey, Miss Linda. Everyone say hello to Miss Linda Gamble. Hey. D says, Melody is a star and deserves to shine her light on TV. Oh, yes, I completely agree with that. And I think that she has been thoroughly missed on Love and Married Huntsville. The people are now finally having to work for that check, which I am happy about. but she has been missed. Missed her on the show, missed seeing more of her, missed her doing a lot more of her lives. So I am definitely excited to basically have her over here. So yeah, everyone, I love how everyone is saying hi to Miss Linda Gamble. Yes, lovely. Okay, so let me read the other thing that she posted. She said they've shared how they had been worried about me, how they knew something wasn't all the way right. Even though I could still get online and entertain you all for hours, they knew something was off. Okay, so I feel like this is sounding like some of the people or some of Melody's inner circle who, of course, know her and who know when things are wrong, right? Because at the end of the day, like, we have come to love Melody, but we don't know her to that extent, right? So the fact that like some people are able to really, really spot like, okay, something is going on with her, I hope she's good. I love that she has those kind of people because like nothing is as beautiful as not having to explain everything to the people that are closest to you. They can just tell like you moved this way. This is not how you move normally. Something is wrong. And I really hope for everyone that you all have those kind of friendships where your friends see you for who you are, they love you, and regardless of what is going on, they can spot when something ain't right with you. And they can really come in and like show up for you in the way in which you need. Amen to that. All right, that's a little bit of something uplifting. But yeah, please hit that like button as you guys come in because I can see a lot of y'all just come in. Please let's get the likes up to like 45 likes at least because I can see there are more people in the chat um that have not seemed to have liked. So please let's get it up to 45 likes at least. Thank you very much, everybody. D says, I love seeing the nuggets on her lives again. We miss them. Yes, absolutely love that. I hate that I've missed some of the lives, but I do try to catch up like online and stuff. So, but yeah, it's always so good to see them. It's always so good, just like it's just so beautiful. The kids are amazing. And the fact that Boss Baby turned, was it 10 this time around? Yes, 10. That is huge. So definitely happy for them. And then Melody said, y'all just don't know. I'm literally in tears right now. I know you all may see some of the things happening as small, but my team, my tribe is literally watching me get back to me. Wow, that is so beautiful. I definitely think that probably a lot has been happening in the background that we have not been privy to, and we're just seeing Melody like just getting on, moving on with her life, and we see her like thriving, pushing with Seventh Avenue Beauty. And then sometimes it's just like you just think like, okay, everything is all good. When in reality she is probably dealing with a lot, right? And so I just think like, yes, let's make sure that we are rallying around her and supporting her in this season. Um Okay, so I'm just trying to see if she has posted anything since that I have not covered. Just to make sure, I have not missed anything. Now, I can see that she is celebrating 1 million views on one of her recent posts on Instagram, and I love that. That's the thing. The people, no matter what, they will always come up and be out here looking. Whether or not they're following her, they would be out here looking. So I'm definitely happy for her. She also posted this on her story. Let me get this up. And this is me just also looking in real time. Uh-oh. I probably should have deleted some of these videos so I can easily share my screen with no issues. Give me a second. Okay, so she posted this. I'd rather be hard to deal with than easy to play with. Okay, this is the one, and that is absolutely true. Then she talks about there's been 2 more signups for her property preservation class, 30 students deep. Who else wants in? I love that, love that, love that. Even I've done the property preservation class before. So I'm glad that she is doing that. Also, this vanilla deodorant. Ooh, I love a vanilla deodorant, I'm not gonna lie. So maybe that's something to try. Let me just see if there's anything else. Oh, I love this fit though. The outfit is cute. Okay, so no, I don't see anything else that she has talked about that I need to bring up. But guys, please hit that like button, everybody. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's try and get the likes up to 60 likes, please. Thank you very much. Let me put that in the chat because my mod isn't here today. I might need more mods, you know. So if anyone wants to be a mod, please let me know. It's a free job, to be honest. It's just a free way to help with like responding to people in the comments, just engaging a little bit more. Okay. Like now, let me just say, let's get up to 60 likes, please. Yes, please, and thank you. Please smash that like button, everybody. Okay, so let me just make sure. Give me a second. Okay, that's all good. I'm just trying to delete some of these things I have saved here because it's turned out to be a lot of things to scroll through. But anyway, guys, please hit that like button. Let's get up to 60 likes here, everybody. Also, don't forget there is a poll in the chat. So you guys keep voting. I am going to read the results of the poll in a second. So you guys have probably, let me just give you all 30 seconds to put any last minute votes in before we start talking about the results of the poll. So I'm gonna give you all one last 30 seconds for you guys to give the results of the poll, and then we will move on to something else. Move on to something else. There is so much I want to talk to you guys about today, and it's like it's like some love and marriage transfer stuff, then it's some married to medicine stuff. I think married to medicine is probably the big one that I have to talk to you guys about outside of the love and marriage transfer stuff, because for those of y'all who don't watch Married to Medicine, I do not even know what y'all are doing, because so much has been happening on the show, off the show, and I feel like it's just been a really good show to cover this season. So if you guys are not watching it, please try to watch Married to Medicine. It's a really good one this season. Guys, please get the likes up to 60 likes. We're now on 41 likes. Please hit that like button. Sometimes I don't be understanding how people be so stingy with the likes. But then again, I feel like sometimes it's easy to do. You kind of forget to hit the like button and then you're just like listening in, which is fantastic. Thanks for your support. But please hit that like button just so that other people can come in as well. Okay, so I think I've given you all more than 60 seconds. So I will go ahead and read the poll, the results of the poll. Okay, let's see. So I asked you guys, who do you think that Melody is referring to? And you guys said, so 36% of people said Nell. 29% of people said someone else. And I know that I've discussed with someone in the chat who thinks it's Stormy. So that also classifies as someone else or anyone else other than Stormy. Then Martell says 25. So Martell is 25%. Sorry, not Martell says 25. Martell ain't even here. 25% of people said Martell. I said that the other way around. And then 11% of people said Tisha. So majority feel is Nell or someone else, aka Stormy, or someone else. So yeah, I definitely think that that's pretty much my reaction as well. You guys know I kind of feel like it's probably either Nell or Stormy, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see if we get any sort of confirmation on that. So I will end the poll now. And then let me go back to seeing what you guys are saying in the chat. So Latonia says, I don't know, but I wish you would just come out with it so we can stop guessing. I'm nosy. Sis, I understand. Knowing Melody, I think she will eventually come out with it, but she probably likes to feed us a little bit of it's almost like making wetting our appetite a little bit. I love the way in which she like gives us she builds up the suspense a little bit, she gets us talking about it, and then she'll eventually tell us who it is. So I cannot wait for her to tell us, but I know we'll probably have to wait a little bit for now. D says, I smashed the like button. I love how she put quotation marks because I'm always saying, guys, smash the like button because I'm like, yeah, smash it. You know, do whatever you got to do. Just hit that like button for me, please. It's so easy. Thanks, D. Really appreciate it. And so this is also in news for the people that don't like to smash it. Smash the like button. D smashed it so easily. I need y'all to smash it for me too, please. And thank you. Okay. All right. On that note, let us move on to the drama that is Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay. So let me just make sure I got it. This is definitely still missing Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, 1 second. All right. Okay. Let me show you guys this trailer. And of course, before some people start coming from me, this is YouTube, so I have to keep pausing and stuff. And also, let me just highlight fair use and all. I'm just going to be using that to give commentary. Okay, so let me just quickly check the comments and then I will come back to the trailer. Al says there's usually a reason, a method behind when Melody reveals certain things that are happening behind the scenes. She has to be careful what she discloses for legal reasons, protect her child. I understand. Absolutely. I definitely think that she does that. Plus, I think she's a marketing genius as well, and she knows the right time to put certain things out. And I think that that is a fantastic thing. Like, it's something that I think more people need to be more strategic. I know sometimes people interpret being strategic as being manipulative, but I actually think it's a really good thing to be strategic. You cannot just be out here just doing things willy-nilly, not really thinking about the consequences of your actions, just going ahead to do and post whatever. There has to be times where you're like, actually, no, I'm gonna sit on this a little bit because this is not the right time. I think that as someone who has functioned in certain areas where timing has been so important, posting something at the wrong time could have an undesired impact, right? So I think that just in general, even with like applying for jobs when it's not time, doing certain moves when it's not time, all those different things, if people were more strategic about when they get a divorce, all of these different things, I think that the outcomes would be a lot different. But guys, please hit that like button. Now let's watch the trailer together.
One of the ladies came back to me and she was like, can't be in these girls' DM.
I mean, I have had conversations with people, but I just feel like it's a little messy, especially coming from Tisha.
Oh, guys, do you hear that? Tisha had the audacity to literally out. Tisha had the audacity to out Ken. Do you know how crazy that is? It's like, what are we doing? Tisha, you're the same person that always has an issue. Every time someone says something about Marceau, you are so upset. Stop coming from my marriage. But then you have the audacity to out whatever Ken has going on. Right? So if I were Trish, I would have said, well, don't speak about my man. The same way you wouldn't want me speaking about your man. Great message, wrong messenger. Right? It should have been someone else. Like maybe Destiny saying to her, like, hey girl, I've been hearing in the streets this is happening. Not Tisha. Not the Tisha who hates anybody telling her anything that has to do with Marceau and her marriage. So you shouldn't be the one carrying the bone at all. You really shouldn't. After Alice says, exactly, I'm sure whomever she's referring to is scrambling and will also show their hand unintentionally, like Marty did last year. Yep. That's usually what happens. Some of these people is like they get so like disheveled by the fact that they're going to be exposed and then expose themselves. So no surprise there. Okay.
Marceau being who they say he is. Tisha tell Trish supposedly.
He said Marceau being who they say he is. Even the way he said that quite nicely, though. He said that quite nicely because he still didn't say Marceau is who they say that he is. It's just saying, considering the kind of things they say about Marceau. And I don't blame Ken. Marceau's reputation is not exactly squeaky clean for Tisha to be getting involved. Tisha, if anyone is carrying bows, it should not be you. You are so upset every time someone says something about Marceau. You do not have the right. When other people are speaking on this issue, you really should just be quiet and say nothing, right? Because you do not like when anyone has anything to say, anything remotely negative to say about Marceau. You cannot stand it. You don't want to hear it. You make it seem like everybody's lying. And so, yes, your wife should not be the bone carrier. Al says, Tisha is so hilarious. She's really out here spreading gossip about someone's relationship. Exactly, which is why you know that people just don't like when you talk about them. It has nothing to do with integrity. People's marriages should be out of, excuse me. She would say stuff like, oh, marriages should be like out of bounds. I don't know the word she uses, but she alludes that people shouldn't really be talking about marriages and relationships. But my thing is, if that's the case, why are you talking on Ken? Isn't it out of order to be getting involved in people's relationships? Mind your business. If other people are not minding their business, you should have been like, no, I'm minding my business. Right? And so it's very hypocritical. That's the word I've been looking for. It's very hypocritical for Tisha to even have a thing to say about it, not to talk of her actually being the one carrying the bone. Ernest says, right, I can't. Ernestine says, right, I can't stand her. Absolutely. It's like, Tisha, every time we start getting to the point where we're like, okay, she's okay, then you do something like this. Because why you are here carrying the bone? Leave somebody like Destiny to do it, right? Leave somebody like Destiny to do that, maybe even now, but not you. There's no reason for you to carry the bone.
Somebody came to her and I was in their DMs. She told Trish that?
Look at Marceau's face. Marceau is like, she told Trish that? And that's the thing. It's like, if someone flipped that over and did that to you, you will not be able to stand that. And we will not hear the last of it. You will be screeching. You will be upset, dragging it for ages. That is what Tisha would do. And so I just find it so hypocritical that she would do such a thing, knowing fully well that if that was done to her, she would not like it. So when people have all these strong views, no, this should never be done, this is off limits, it's a lie. It's only because it is convenient for them. It is not a policy that they abide by. It's a policy they use whenever it is good for them, whenever it can be justified for them. It is not genuinely, no. It's just that you are saying this because this is how you feel in this moment, because you don't want people talking about what you got going on. But the moment things change and someone else is on the receiving end, who cares? It's like, let's talk. Who cares? And that's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Very, very disappointing. Even look at how Marcel was so shocked about it.
If there's anybody that shouldn't carry bones, it's us.
Look at that. Your man said if it is anybody that shouldn't carry bones, it should be us. That shouldn't carry bones, it shouldn't be us, right? Why do you think that is? Because it's giving you guys have the most to hide. You guys have the most to hide. That is what it's given. Sorry, guys, I want to tell you guys, let's get up to 80 likes. And I'm trying to type at the same time, so not that easy. But yeah, it's just like, what are we doing?
Now, all of a sudden,
look at her face. If anyone should be carrying bones, it shouldn't be us. And it's like, it's interesting that you even had to wait for Master to tell me that. Like, I could have told you that for free. I could have told you that for free. Everybody in the chat could have told you that for free. You should not have been getting involved. And interestingly enough, I'm quite surprised that Trish did not say something to her about that. And instead, Trish seems to have then taken it over to Ken. I would have said, well, that is not your place to tell me, right? Especially if this is Tisha that always has something to say about people coming for her relationship. There is no way I would let her have a one-up on my relationship, knowing fully well that's how she feels about people talking about her relationship, but she can do it to everyone else. Absolutely unacceptable. Now, she looks good. The makeup is nice.
I didn't get my license revoked. Now you're trying to make a big deal out of it.
Well, getting your, I hate to break it to you, Chris, but getting your license revoked is a pretty big deal. It is a pretty big deal. It's not something that is happy, and I'm not gloating because I cannot even imagine this happening to someone who works so hard for their license across any profession, right? But I also understand if you feel like your friend is now using that to gloat, that's crazy work.
I'm supposed to get on a bullhorn and alert everybody that my license revoked.
No, just me.
Who the are you?
Ooh! First of all, I'm kind of glad to see that Chris has a little bit of fire in him because he's always acting like he cannot say nothing. And maybe I guess it's only when Neil was there. He's just always acting like he does not say nothing. He is quiet every single time. And so I'm glad he piped up to Marceau because Marceau is also being messy. Now, I understand why Marceau is being messy because Marceau has not forgiven him alluding to them signing NDAs, allegedly. Right? And so I feel like Marceau is basically trying to one-up him and give him a tit-for-tat situation, which I'm like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Marceau is well within his rights to retaliate if he wants to. That's his business. Right? So, but I will say losing your license is a pretty big deal. I'm going to just put my hand up and say that. Ernestine says she's so glad Mel is gone. She hated Mel. Mel is doing very well now. Absolutely. I definitely think she doesn't want... I don't think any of them want Mel on the show because I feel like if Mel was on the show would have always been about Mel. But now that Mel is not on it, then the show now has to be about everyone else because the people would now have to finally work for that check. So I guess the people are working now because now we're finally hearing other things that is outside of what Mel has going on. Interestingly enough, do you guys notice that Martell is nowhere to be found? Martell is nowhere to be seen. Martell is nowhere in sight in this trailer. If you look over the trailer again, you'd see we saw Ken, we saw Trish. We didn't see Marceau. We also didn't see Maurice and Kimmy, which also gives me the impression that there's really not much happening with Maurice and Kimmy this season. I think that they have given us the storyline about the alleged SEX business, and now there is nothing left for them to give us. And so I don't know what storyline they are going to come up with next season, but whatever they have going on, I definitely don't think right now they have enough, because if they had enough, we would be seeing them at least once in the trailer. But the trailer seems to be focused on Trish and Ken and Maurice, not Maurice, Marceau, so many M names. Marceau, Tisha, and who's the other person? Oh my god, where's my mind going? And Chris.
Your
Let me see.
loyalty is more towards Nell.
Okay, so then Tisha says to Destiny, your loyalty is more towards Nell. And this is my thing with Tisha. Tisha, when have you ever had loyalty to anybody? When have you ever had loyalty to anybody? And when has Destiny ever had loyalty to anybody? Let's just call a spade a spade. When Destiny was cool with Mel, she decided to then become friends with Yops. Tisha. So to me, when you think about it in that way, it's like, when have they really ever been friends like that? When? Right? You guys, in my opinion, bonded because you both did not like Melody. So you guys got on and you bonded because you did not like Melody. So, as I said, I don't know if you guys caught this, like a couple of months ago, I was telling you guys that I feel like Destiny and Tisha will fall out. It's only a matter of time. And I remember saying that, and I think some people may have thought like I was being too much or I'm too extra. One thing you guys will learn about me is I'm very good at observation. And I was correct here, as I've been correct about so many things. And as I'm also correct about Dr. Heavenly, which we'll talk about very soon. But with Destiny and Tisha, it's no surprise that they are now falling out. Because think about it, if you guys become friends when the foundation ain't solid, when the object of which you guys bonded over is no longer in the picture, you guys will struggle. You bonded over Mel's, Mel and wanting to see her demise and all of that. And then, or wanting to see her defeat, because demise sounds a bit intense. And then she left the show now, so you guys don't even have anyone to pick on. So now, guess what's going to happen? You guys will start picking on each other. And you all know that Tisha does not forget nothing. Tisha expects blind loyalty. She will not forget. And I told you guys that the moment the whole car thing happened, yeah, it was all over for Destiny and Tisha. There was always going to be something moving forward after that. And I am not surprised that that is what we are seeing. Now, guys, let's get the likes up to 90 at this point, or even 100 likes, please. Keep smashing that like button, everybody. Thank you so much for the turnout tonight. I love how you guys showed up and showed out tonight. Thank you so much. Please continue to hit that like button as we get into it. So Janice Robertson, says, Tisha gets on my third nerve. Always in others' business. She needs therapy badly. My goodness, she's an evil creature with a very darkened soul. She's pathetic. So that's what Janice had to say. And I definitely agree with you saying she is always in everybody's business. I think that when you're always in anybody's business but your own, and it's not like you're a blogger like the rest of us, at some point it's like, girl, what are you doing? Now, I understand that you are on a show. Let me put that out there. However, if you make some sort of policy that gives the impression that relationships are out of limits or, are out of touch or out of bounds for you guys to have these conversations about, you cannot then be the same person that will bring such mess on screen. If you were really writing for your girl, you would have pulled your girl to the side to say, girl, this is what I'm hearing. Do you want me to bring it on the screen? Or should we just talk about it privately? And I don't know what woman would want to be publicly embarrassed by her man being in other women's DMs. So just putting that out there. So yes, I feel like she's always in other people's business when she just needs to mind her own. Mind your own business. Focus on just being a better person. Focus on having fun on the show. Focus on transitioning. I think for a long time we have seen her just have this, it's almost like a immature behavior on the show. And I would love to see her grow on the show. see her grow emotionally a little bit more, because I don't think we have seen that from her, which is a shame. Okay, so Ernestine says, does this mean Chris can't get his license back? I really like him and his wife. So I think that Chris may be able to get his license back eventually, perhaps, but some of the things were given very dishonesty related. So I am not really sure about that, to be honest, right? I think that it's been a while since I covered it, but if you watch one of my previous videos where I broke it down, I think I also talked about the potential of him getting it back. I just can't remember what that actually looks like and how I would advise him to go about it if that was even possible. So I don't really remember fully, because it's been a while, as to whether he can truly get it back. Some licenses you can get back as long as it's not based on really serious allegations like fraud or dishonesty. And then some are a little bit more lenient after some years has passed, or after some years have passed. And so in that case, if it's one of those ones where after some years have passed, you can still get your license back, then of course, get the license back. Guys, please, let's get the likes up to 100 likes. 1 second. To hit that like button as you come in. Okay. So please let us get the likes to 100. Hit that like button as you come in. Okay, now let's go back to playing this video.
Question. I gotta know what box to put everybody in.
What's the label on my box?
Don't trust that hoe.
Okay. Well, I would say she shouldn't trust you either. Because you shouldn't trust a friend that you cannot tell the truth. A friend that would always perceive the worst. A friend that would always take any action, anything that you do, as you being an op. A friend that cannot even accept that, okay, actually, my friend was wrong, and let's move on. It is what it is. She made a mistake. Friends would make mistakes. People make mistakes all of the time. Nobody's above mistakes. And so if you cannot at least give your friend a level of grace, honey, and everything is always this deep, then girl, I'm gonna put my hand up for you. Now, do I really believe that Destiny is truly a great friend to her or anything? I don't believe either of them are good friends to each other. I think it was a relationship of mutual hate. And then once that was over, there isn't enough to keep them together. I've always said Destiny finds Tisha's behavior and her antics a bit immature. If you guys remember, she was saying it in a confessional that Tisha was throwing tantrums. If anyone is describing your behavior as tantrums, that gives that person believes that you are childish. They find you annoying. They believe you're childish. So, Tisha, that's who your friend thinks you are. And that is who you behave. That's how you project. That's how you portray yourself to be. That's how you act on the show. So I can't even be vexed with Destiny, because sometimes that's actually the vibe I get from you.
The joke got some truth to it.
But they both look nice.
It's you! I just want you to...
And so Destiny is screaming, what is the issue? Oh my God.
Tell them you're wrong!
And then she says, I just want you to tell Nell you're wrong. But is Nell actually wrong, or are you wrong? Because sometimes all these people that want you to fight for them, it's hard to fight for you because you all are in the wrong. Right? If you're all in the right, maybe your friend will fight for you. But if you're constantly in the wrong and will never take accountability, sometimes your friends are just like, I am tired. I am tapping out. I am not fighting for this person because I do not know what she is doing. Okay.
If I don't talk about me behind my back.
And then look at how Tisha is screaming in her face and very angry. I even think that, in all fairness to Destiny, and I don't give Destiny a lot of credit, but I think Destiny definitely was calm in this moment, because there is no way anybody who calls themselves my friend or was ever my friend will sit in front of me or stand in front of me and scream at me like that. That is never going to be acceptable. So I would actually give Destiny a little bit of credit. I'm gonna give her a little bit of credit here and say she actually did a fantastic job holding her peace and not smacking her. Because imagine someone is so close to your face and then screaming in your face. Not cool.
The fight with Nail?
I'm leaving.
No, don't walk out the door.
Now, Destiny girl, there's no need for you to hold that lady. Anytime someone is upset and walking away from you, leave them. Like, you may be like, okay, give us a second, but don't pull her. That is not okay. That's also an aggressive stance. So if Tisha popped you now, I would understand, because leave her alone. Don't be grabbing her like that.
You need to stop with the bull and this victimization.
Loving
She said, you need to stop with the BS and the victimization. I wish I could like fast forward it, but I wanted to show you guys the bit again where she basically grabbed her. I don't think that's cool. So I'm going to leave it to play without playing the audio until it gets to the bit I really want to show you guys. But I definitely think that grabbing someone whilst they're already upset is hella BS. Don't do that. For your safety, guys, this is just personal advice. For your safety, never grab someone like that when they're upset. Never grab someone like that, especially if that person has some anger issues. They will pop you in the mouth before they realize that you were trying to calm them down. Keep your hands to yourself when people are upset. This is just like a general rule that I feel like people really need to learn. Like, I understand trying to calm people down, but when it comes to physically touching people, you should only be doing that if you're stepping in to separate people. Don't be out here just pulling, and even that, don't grab nobody. Step in. Oh my god, Destiny, that shirt, you need a bigger size. Okay, it's all right when she doesn't pull her arm up, bless her. Now, this is the bit I want you guys to see. Watch. So she says, I'm leaving, and then Destiny pulls her arm. Tries to pull her arm, and then Tisha yanks her arm off, and then
Don't walk out the door. You need to stop with the bull and this victimization.
love and marriage.
now, Destiny girl, there's no need for you to be trying to pull her back or try. If she does not want to talk and she wants to leave, let her leave. Right? Like, sometimes people need space, and that let her leave if she needs to leave. That's just something I feel like, for people's sake, for safety reasons, let's be careful with like holding and grabbing people. Tisha and Marceau think they are the stars of the show now. That show will be gone in a little while. That's what Ernestine is saying. Yeah, I feel like the way things are going, yeah, it's definitely given, like, I don't know how long the show is going to be able to last, especially with people like, no offense, well, take offense if you want to, Trish and Ken. I don't think that they have enough personalities to drive the show. Maurice and Kimmy, we didn't even see them here, so there's probably nothing going on with them. Martell isn't here either, so it's just like, ain't nothing going on with him either. So yeah, I just feel like there isn't really enough going on by way of storylines to keep the people as entertained as they probably would want the people to be. But I guess so far we'll keep watching. For those who still watch, I guess we will keep on watching. Okay, guys. So we're going to shift gears a little bit into some Married to Medicine. And what we're going to talk about when it comes to Married to Medicine is this whole Heavenly versus Simone saga. Now, for those of you who remember, a lot of times when I've talked about the whole Heavenly situation with Simone, I told you guys that I felt that Heavenly was trying to set up Simone. And I said that I felt like Heavenly went to the higher ups, right? And said something and used certain words to try to get out of filming, being on the girls' trip and stuff like that with Simone. And it sounds like I was right because I was listening to Queen Sheba Darling's recent video about it. Shout out to her. And when I listened, she said something about she had a source who allegedly said that Heavenly went to HR, allegedly. Okay, my banner is up, everything's alleged. Apparently went to HR and was giving HR the impression that Simone was violent towards her. That is a huge, huge, huge problem. What do you mean? Are you trying to ruin this woman's career? Saying she was violent, you went to HR? Let's roll back some of the things Heavenly has done. She was out here saying to Contessa, her mama, and this lady said her mama that died in 2010, and this lady kept saying yes. Why didn't she report then when it looks like Contessa wanted to run her down and she had to run off? Why didn't she go to HR then to complain about being scared, feeling unsafe? Right? So remember, I told you all there's something diabolical about her. And I was right. And I feel like some of y'all that give me so much grief every time I have an alternative theory that is not popular, you guys need to put some respect on my name at this point. Because I remember I was talking about it and I was talking about Simone and Toya's friendship. And I said Toya is a very loyal person. And I said Toya is being a good, loyal friend to Simone, but Jackie is not being that. And to then find out that Heavenly allegedly did this in the background, Dr. Jackie would have also known about it. And so because I know Simone would have told Dr. Jackie about it. So for you to know that and still be okay and not draw a line in the sand and call out your friend is a problem. If I find out that we have a mutual and this mutual is trying to get me fired and I bring it to your attention, especially if they're lying on me, and I bring it to your attention and you do nothing, say nothing, and it feels like you're still on that person's side, we are going to have a problem. So yes, the people may think that Simone is being extra and Simone likes to stir up ish and Simone is doing the most and all of that. That may well be correct. But in this instance, you would also be pissed if you found out someone was alleging that you are violent and they felt unsafe, allegedly. You would also feel some type of way. Let's be clear. Right? And so I'm not surprised that she dropped Jackie and unfollowed her. I know that she's followed her back. I don't even know why she bothered with that. I suspect maybe they had a good reunion and Jackie owned it in some way. Maybe that's what happened. But what I do know is that sort of behavior from Heavenly should not be tolerated. And it's not okay for Heavenly to be able to have done all these things over the years, constantly attacked women on the show. And the moment Simone yanks her hand off, the next thing, Heavenly runs to the HR. It's definitely giving Karen behavior. It's giving Karen behavior. And I feel like some of y'all can love Heavenly. Anybody says, you can have your favorites if you want to. But you guys should be able to also call your fave out. And this is something I brought up that time. And I alluded to the fact that Heavenly gave the impression that she literally said something along the lines to Simone that I said what I knew I had to. What I needed to say. to get the reaction that she wanted. That was the summation of what it is that she said out of her mouth without using those exact words. And once I heard that, I knew, ooh, there is more going on that meets the eye. There is more that they are not showing us that is happening in the background. And I told you guys, and some of y'all said I was delusional. And, I was writing for certain folks. When now, what Queen has said with her source is backing up what it is that I have said previously. And so I feel like some of y'all need to start, dial back some of it. Even if you don't agree with somebody, being in the comments, doing the most, calling me names because I see something that you don't yet see. I hope some of y'all will come back and be like, oh, I was wrong. And no, you called it out the whole time. Right? So I'm definitely not surprised with how everything is turning out with Heavenly. I peeped it. Y'all know I've never really seen it for Heavenly. I've always said her behavior was outrageous, excessive, unhinged, and it was constantly tolerated. I felt like Bravo and Carlos and all these people enabled her and created this person. It's like you've created this monster. The people on the socials have created the monster. I feel like she has gone so far and said so many things and gone way too far on so many instances that it's like if you're making excuses for her, then I don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. But word on the street, allegedly, is that she was plotting and scheming. Okay? It was given, they had to apparently, allegedly, pull Simone out for a little while to investigate. Imagine you are minding your business at work and then they tell you, I'm so sorry, but you have to finish work early today because we need to conduct an investigation. Like, wait, what? What happened? Your coworker made some allegations against you, so we just need to investigate that. And then you have to go home because your co-workers or a co-worker decide to lie on you. Absolutely bizarre. And so it's like, sometimes it's always like, why do we continue to enable this behavior? Why do we continue to enable this monster? Right? Even Toya, I know Simone called her the devil, and I don't blame her, because if someone is in your face acting like, yeah, we're all cool, but privately you are plotting and scheming to that extent, I don't want you to play in my face. Don't be in my face acting like we're cool, because we're not. And we're probably never going to be cool. Right? And so it's very baffling to me when I saw a video, apparently, of Heavenly, or of Jackie, sorry, basically saying that she's not taking sides between Simone and Heavenly because she feels like they'll be friends again. Sis, are you slow? Okay, that sounds mean. Sorry, Lord. I'm trying to be better. Sister, are you okay? Because I just don't understand why you think that they will become friends. After finding out that your so-called friend tried to get you fired, do you think you're going to go over there and be friends with them again? Where is the wisdom in doing that? Where's the wisdom? Right? Like, if someone has shown themselves to be a snake in the green grass, why would you then be trying to be friends again with them? So I just think that Jackie is just not being a good friend. That's just the reality of what the situation is. But I'm going to play that so that you guys can see what it is I'm referring to, and then we can talk about it.
Why Heavenly does what Heavenly does, and why are they asking me to do it? The crazy part you don't see is not everybody, most people will call me after a scene or after something's happened to talk it through. So I'm like, you're painting your story, so I'm supposed to take sides, and I'm not going to take sides, because if you've never watched, or I'm sure you have, all the seasons, Heavenly and Simone will be friends again.
Not this time. Not this time. I do not believe for a second. If you guys, let me put a poll up, because I can't be the only one thinking that they ain't never gonna be friends again. Let me see. I think they may try to be friendly for the sake of HR, but I do not think they would ever be friends again. Now, I've put that poll in the chat for you guys to vote on. I do not personally think that they would be friends again, but I'll leave you all to really decide. Who do you think that Heavenly and Simone are going to be friends again? Put it in the chat. Let's see.
That's the kind and it's like, you know that in your heart.
And I
because
stay
that's
out
what
of
history
it. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. And I'm like, I don't want to blend into the chaos.
But then, Jackie, has anyone ever allegedly gone to HR in the past? Or is this a first? Because if this is a first, it ain't looking good. And at what point do you then decide that, okay, actually, maybe this is more serious than we've ever had before. Maybe I need to step in. I feel like there is nothing wrong in calling out a friend and saying, do you know what? You're wrong. You shouldn't have done this. You dropped the ball. There was no reason. This is not what happened. Step in. Right? If you're not going to stand for something, you fall for everything, right? I think that's how the statement goes.
I'm just going to build the bridges.
It's almost like when you have a friend who keeps on.
But my thing is, what bridge are you building? Because now your friend of how many years who was with you when you apparently had cancer is out here needing you to ride for her once, support her, but you can't even do that.
And like they get back together, then break up with their partner, and you're like, I'm not going to say anything. Because...
Have moan. You know, I said so. Heavenly and Simone have moan. They break up to make up to get back together. They'll be friends again.
I don't know. Someone said it's okay to say that one friend is wrong. I agree. That's right, Jackie. Stay out of it. Simone is more loyal to Toya than you anyway. She never told Toya she's wrong. Simone has to beef with someone every year. Real friends hold their friends accountable. Say louder. Right? Oh, stop. She holds Dr. Simone to a different standard. She never outrightly tells Heavenly she's wrong. She always tells her to stop and listen. Dr. Jackie has been salty with Dr. Simone since the Buffy incident. This is not about taking sides. It's about right and wrong and holding everyone accountable. Yep. That's a safe answer for her. Absolutely. Speaking the truth doesn't necessarily mean taking sides. Yep. Say it louder. They said they will, but you can still tell her when she's wrong. Yep. Don't take sides. Make them take accountability, especially Heavenly. Yep. But that is the thing. She will not be letting her take accountability because she does not hold her accountable. Every time you see her talking to Heavenly, it's always like, oh, just apologize. Be the bigger person. No, she's the one that is wrong and needs to take accountability. And so I just feel like if people did that a little bit more with their friendships, maybe the quality of friendships that we do have will be a lot different. Because for now, this ain't it. And this is not the kind of relationship that I would want. I would want my friend to be able to step in and be like, honey, you are bugging out. You need to chill the heck out. I would appreciate a friend that calls me and says that to me, as opposed to someone who's just saying like, oh, be the bigger person. And so I'm over there thinking I'm innocent and did nothing wrong, whilst in reality, that's not the case. Ernestine says, I like Heavenly, but she always has a storyline. I think Heavenly was using that for a storyline only. Fair enough, but I think that's such a mean thing to do if you're doing that for storyline. For you to allegedly go to people and say that someone was being violent, that is excessive. That is taking things too far. Especially if this is someone that is a doctor. That could have ruined her reputation, her practice, her future, her retirement. Like, there's unhinged and then there is extremely unhinged. And I think taking things that far is extremely unhinged based on whatever standards we choose to use. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is Dr. Simone kind of, it seems like Simone is in the chat a lot lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed. She seems to be in the chat a lot lately, but we are going to talk about it. So Cecil said NYC, my kind of town, best ramen I had in my life. Thanks, Simone, for rolling with me. Okay, then someone says Dr. Simone is a gift. We all just hope you paid the bill, Cecil. Do you earn money? Oh, that person I fear ate him up. Then Simone jumps in the chat. You better defend your man, your man, your man, your man. Okay. And then says he has 2 jobs and a retirement account that is full. What is your financial status? Ooh, never mind. Okay. Now, first of all, Simone, when did he get these 2 jobs? Now, I am on your side, but when did he get these 2 jobs? Question mark. Because didn't you say that you were the breadwinner on the show? Oh, guys, am I bugging? Because some of these, it almost feels like some of these people, yeah, when they get over whatever beef that they had with somebody, they then make it seem like everybody's crazy. And we are just making ish up. So I'm just trying to figure out, Simone, seriously, when did he get these 2 jobs? Has he always had the 2 jobs? And if so, why was your son alluding to the fact that mommy is the breadwinner? And Simone, why were you also alluding to the fact that all of the financial load was on you? So you have nobody to blame but you. So maybe you need to figure out how you communicate certain things to us so that in the future, we don't get to certain conclusions based on what it is that you said to us. And it's interesting. This is the thing about like marriages, relationships. Someone talks bad about their spouse. The moment you say something, then everybody turns on you. What do you mean? Why would you say that about my spouse? And it's like, dude, I was saying the exact same thing you were saying. But when I say it is a problem, and that's exactly what I think is happening. I think when Simone was alluding to it, it was all well and good. But the moment someone else is saying something about it, now we are the problem. Now we are the people who are trying to cause issues when, in fact, you were the ones that started this. If you guys didn't tell us nothing, we wouldn't have known anything. We wouldn't have known what was in your household, but you guys brought it to us. And so it's always so funny. Then they act like they can't remember and then try to rewrite history and change everything up. And it's like, I don't know why you're doing that, because it seems very, very disingenuous. But anyway, then Simone says, my response should never be viewed as an attack. I complained about a spoiled child spending my money and a husband that continues to spoil a child. The twisted narrative that I take care of Cecil is ludicrous. All the ladies are married to men out-earn their husbands. Now, you all know this is something I also said, but the people were saying, oh, this person has this job, oh, that person has that job, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And I guess my thing is like, so who's telling the truth? Who is telling the truth? I personally believe, Simone, I definitely feel like the way things move is definitely given that the women are the breadwinners. And this is something I've said before, and I was almost like, nailed to the wall for saying that. With people giving me examples of other people's and all these jobs these people or these men had. And I'm just like, jobs that we have not seen no proof of. Right? So I don't believe that for a second. If I had to believe someone's narrative, I would say all of the women, including Toya. Because I know a lot of people like to say, oh, Toya doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But she earns way more. Maybe not way more. But she earns more than Eugene just by respect of being on the show. The show gives them a good bag. So they are definitely earning good by just being on the show. Let's be clear. With Quad, what do we know that Quad has done since the show? right? To put money in her pocket outside of the, was it Sister Circle that was cancelled? Right? So if we're thinking about it like that, yet she has been able to financially provide for her, the property where she's staying at, right? Her property. That beautiful, beautiful home. She is living well. So the Married to Medicine checks must be good. Right? So I feel like if people forget their hate for Toya and constantly tell her to get a job, that's her job. She is showing up to work. And that's just that. Angela says, Simone is the breadwinner in her family. I believe that her husband acknowledged that she is. Yes, and this is the thing. Even the jokes that they've been giving us acknowledges that she is the breadwinner. But this is why it's so odd to me that all of a sudden it feels like everyone is now trying to rewrite history. They want to give us an alternative story and want us to forget our comments about Cecil and how Cecil has been showing up when you guys brought it to us in the first place. If you guys did not bring it to us, we would have had nothing to say about it. But you brought it to us and now you're upset that we had something to say about it. So whose fault is that? Who do y'all need to be focusing all that energy on? Right? That's the impression I get. Now, I gave you guys a poll to complete earlier. Let me just have a look and see how that is doing. In the meantime, guys, please hit that like button, everybody. And let's see what the poll is saying. Now, thank you so much for voting, because a lot of y'all actually voted for this poll on this poll. And I think most people sometimes don't like vote and polls. So I love that you guys showed up and decided to vote. Thank you so much to everyone that has voted. I will give you guys 30 seconds for anyone who still wants to vote but hasn't voted, because I saw someone just voted now. So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds. If you want to vote, please vote now. I think it's pinned. If you guys want to vote, if you just go on your screen, you would see in the chat, it is pinned to the chat. So if you click on it, then you should be able to vote. And then let me just give you a little bit of time. In the meantime, let me just see what the people are saying in the comments. Someone said, do they forget the stuff they say on camera? This is the question. Simone definitely told Jackie that she feels overwhelmed because Cecil quit his high-salaried corporate job and all the financial responsibilities are on her shoulders. So she can't get mad that viewers think Cecil's broke and living off her because that's what she implied. Yes. Now, I do appreciate that people may lose their job or quit their jobs and then move on to get new jobs. So maybe that's what happened in this situation. I'm going to give Simone the benefit of the doubt on this one. Someone says, clock it. She literally never said Cecil was broke. She said she didn't support her when it came to the boys. Leave that lady alone. Then someone says, Dr. Damon out-earns all the husbands on the show. Don't get it twisted. Simone said, you believe anything. The plot thickens. So it sounds like Simone is saying or alluding to the fact that Damon Daddy does not earn as much as we are being led to believe, allegedly. Okay. That's the only thing I can say to this comment here. You believe anything. Then someone says, just because Heavenly said it doesn't make it true. You're act slow on this internet. Someone said he's a pea pusher working for pharmaceutical companies. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Someone says, am I tripping? But didn't she have a season 2 storyline about how Cecil doesn't have a job? That's the thing. But maybe he got a job after that. Now, y'all know I stand on what I stand on, where I say she was the one that gave us all this information that we are using. So it is on her at the end of the day, and I still stand by what I said. I said what I said. Let me see if I have that clip. What you said is some BS. No, yeah, I don't have that clip to hand, but that clip gets me every time. I said what I said is the clip of a lifetime. Okay. All right. So the poll, I asked you guys, do you think Heavenly and Simone would be friends again? 70% of people said no, and 30% of people said yes. So it sounds like majority of the people also agree with me when I say I don't think they will become friends again. I do think that they may be cordial, maybe because the show might require them to be cordial. If Heavenly is still going to be on the show, but I genuinely think that I definitely think that Simone is never going to be friends with that lady. Like, and there would be a level of like, you really don't have a huge level of self preservation to be friends with someone who allegedly went to HR about you. So I don't know what to tell y'all, but that's just what immediately comes to my mind. All right, so let's talk about this because Toya has something to say about the whole king and quad of it all. And so let me share this with you guys. And let's get into it.
Were you surprised when you learned that Quad and King broke up?
I was more surprised that, and I pray that Quad gives me the same grace that she's gonna give Heavenly, because Heavenly came on your show and she said that's my friend, and so Quad's my friend now too, And Quad said, or Heavenly said, should I say Heavenly? So let's make it clear. Heavenly said that they've been broken up for months, right?
She did.
And I'm just curious how many months.
Yep, let's just say I'm curious too. How many months? Because it's like, how long has it been? How many months has it been? These are some of the things I would love to know as well, because were they playing in our face and were they already broken up the whole season and they were just coming to our face to act like they had never broken up? Now that would be a problem for me. Because if I'm watching a story and watching the storyline and trying to trust the storyline, and then I find out it's some BS, I would be irritated.
But really and truly, I think the relationship was over during the season.
Cold towards her?
Or just...
I will not be surprised, because if you see the way that King was responding in those episodes, the big back comment, the jokes about things and what she's wearing, and everything was just weird. Like, that's not something like an affectionate, loving man who is still into you would be doing.
Distant. I'm not even gonna say cold. He's distant and he's not as loving as he was, and you can see it.
Exactly. This is the thing. You could see it, right? And this was part of what a lot of us talked about. I know I talked about it constantly, and I was seeing the changes and how he was speaking to her and some of the comments that he was making, and it was given that he does not like her.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that the viewers are going to start seeing a different scenario with him as they continue to watch the show. And then you'll ask yourself, were they together? Because that's what I started asking.
Were you surprised when...
Because that's what I started asking King myself.
Did you ask him yourself?
I did, but it's not my business to tell. I think that is something that,
Hi, Quad.
Yeah.
I'll call you.
He has developed relationships to the point where, thank you, King, shout out to, giving my son one of the best birthday gifts ever. And I appreciate him. He's been there for my husband. They have celebrated Father's Day together. He was there at...
Right. So it sounds like what Quad through Heavenly, I guess, was saying, that he's embedded himself in her friendships and all of the people, sounds right. Because if he's that close to Eugene, then he is already in the community. And this is why you have to be careful who you bring into your circle. And this is also the same for like introducing your friends to your other friends. I don't be doing them ish, because I'm not about to then have you all be like meeting up and talking about me and all that craziness. It's like, please, I do not want that drama. If we separate and we're no longer friends, we don't have to now have a meeting as to how the whole group will continue. That's why I don't like friendships when people are in groups. I like having an individual friendship. So if the whole group breaks down, we're still friends or whatever the case may be. Because I just think like sometimes when it's like you bring someone and bring them into your group, if you're no longer speaking to them, now you still have the whole group. And now the whole group is still speaking to them. And now you feel a little bit like, oh, I can't even be friends with my people because now my people are messing around with my op. It's just a very tricky, weird situation. This is why I'm like, protect your relationships. Don't just be bringing anyone willy-nilly just because you're dating them around your circle like that, or your friend just bringing them willy-nilly into your work circle like that. Don't be doing all them things because you don't know. You just don't know. It's like, properly vet people. Take your bloody time before you do that. And even when you take your time, take extra time again, because people are just not trustworthy, right?
My husband's birthday, and
because now Quad is going to have to be seeing him around, because now Eugene and King are friends.
He's become a good friend, you know, and I don't want y'all to think that we go around befriending. No, Quad brought him to us, okay? And he's a nice guy, and I hate.
Exactly, and this is the thing. This is what happens when you bring someone around, is that people then form friendships. Like she said, you brought him to us. Now you're going to have to deal with the fact that you brought him to us, because now you don't want him there anymore, but he's still going to be there.
I hate that this season is so hard for him, because really and truly, and her, but because that's what I started.
Solicited King service because he owns a luxury car dealership.
Yes.
And he did a surprise for your son.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you broke the girl code by keeping in touch with your friend's ex-man?
You know, I don't keep in touch. I do not have his phone number.
I love that she cleared that up, because I think people are making it seem like it's more than it is. It sounds like she needed a particular service and he could provide the service, and so she used him.
I do not have his DM. I know what his DM is.
Are you still following him?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't think you should follow him?
Eugene and him are good friends.
But are y'all good friends?
Am I good friends?
With King.
I'm about as good of a friend with King as I am with Quad. Me and Quad are just getting our relationship together. So come on now. Now you know that shit. Okay, that's like that God forbid, you know, the day we good, tomorrow we not. So I can't.
It's true. Like, her and Quad don't have that much of a solid friendship where she'll be like, oh, I'm riding for her like she rides for Simone. They don't have that solid friendship. Like, there isn't anything there. It's just like they're cool, but they're not friends like that. So there's nothing there.
I'm not doing all that, you know. Now Simone went and unfollowed Jackie the other day, but I don't unfollow people. Okay, it ain't that deep. Okay,
Yep, I'm with Toya. I do not unfollow people. If I go back on my list of following, I'm sure I still follow my exes. Like, I do not care. I do not block nobody. I do not unfollow nobody. I don't really give a dang. I'm sure, like, even maybe my ex bestie probably unfollowed me at this point, but who cares? Like, I still haven't gone to check or unfollowed her. So I don't know. I just find unfollowing childish. It takes too much effort. Like, I'm going to go to my phone and be like, ooh, let me find you so I can unfollow you. Like, please.
I just mute you. I will mute your story.
Fair enough. But yeah, I personally think like there's really nothing Toya said that was that big a deal. But I guess we will see, because because Quad will probably be doing some monologues at the reunion, as she does per usual. So I will not be surprised there. Now, I do want to talk about a little segue into Potomac, and then we'll talk about Evelyn Lozada's daughter and some of what I have been seeing about Evelyn Lozada's daughter. So guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and let me just share this. All right, let's go.
The Karen Huger interview, and based on your thumbs down before
I
we
did
went
give a
to
thumbs
break,
down.
I take it you didn't enjoy the interview as much.
I'm gonna say this. You don't say enjoy. I
Well, fair enough.
don't, this, and I didn't look, I wasn't looking at this one for entertainment value. This was serious.
Yes.
And for Andy Cohen to come to her home
Yep.
and then to have this conversation, it was important. And to go through what she's been through, I didn't feel what I thought, or I didn't see what I thought.
I think let me just summarize what I think this lady is saying. I think she expected a lot more groveling from Karen. I think she expected a lot more ownership from Karen, and that just was not coming across from the clips that I saw. You all know I talked about it. And I definitely did not feel like she was really owning some of the ish.
I would see it just she was ready. She was ready for the camera. I will never negate what she's been through. But this is a serious situation. Drinking while driving, and she did acknowledge, why she did it.
She did.
But it was so much, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And it was, I turned from it because I said, you know what? I didn't connect to this. And I turned to the Grammys and,
interesting.
Yeah, so it's that I definitely have the same sentiment that lady had. It was definitely very much given like I'm not taking ownership. I'm very performative. I'm the grand dame, which he is, but still, this is something very serious. Like more ownership, I think would have swayed the public a little bit more on her side. Now, here is the thing. Karen is not necessarily known for her accountability. I don't think that's what the people know her for. So I don't think that people were innately surprised. I think that I've always felt like she wasn't going to be out here really owning it deeply like that. So I cannot say that I was surprised for a second that this lady feels this way. I felt the same way as well, right? And I did not watch it because I felt like that is what I would get. And I was right. And so I literally just saw the clips online and I was like, yeah, I've seen enough to know exactly how that interview went. But let's see what the people were saying in the chat. Karen was still in character as the grand dame that she thinks she is. I think Karen did a great job. She was real and she was herself. I hate to say it, but I felt the same way too. I actually turned it off mid-interview. I didn't feel she was genuine. I don't feel like she's going to stop. I think that she will stop driving, but I don't think that she's necessarily going to stop drinking. No. I loved Karen's interview. I saw her growth and acceptance. So it's fun. It sounds like people are on both ends, right? You all want people to cry and beg and plead. As long as she takes it seriously and goes through the steps is all she can do. The interview wasn't necessary. To be honest, she had months in jail, months to sit with herself, to reevaluate, months to month. She's still emotional and pathetic, but all she can do is use her words and actions moving forward. Okay, so it sounds like there's a mixture. Some agree with her. Some agree with Karen. I low-key feel like the people that agree with Karen are probably Karen fans, and that's probably why they are not necessarily watching, or that's why they're not necessarily observing how Karen was moving in this interview. But I definitely believe that Karen was very performative. Someone says she's right. She was ready for the camera. You can tell she was trained on how to answer the questions, especially from the answer regarding the naming of the medication she was on. They could have left it a short 15-minute segment for the end of the reunion. This didn't deserve a full episode. Yep. So definitely sounds like there's a mixture, right? There is a mixture of people who feel like Karen was not too vulnerable. And then also Karen was. I think when I also covered it, I think majority of the people felt like Karen wasn't as vulnerable and she wasn't as accountable. But then I think there was maybe one or two people who were Team Karen and were like, yeah, nah, Karen owned it and all of that good stuff. So let me know if you guys think Karen owned it. Are you Team Karen, or do you feel like she did not own it? And do you agree with April Ryan about how Karen came across in that interview with Andy Cohen. Put in the chat, please. Okay, so let's move on to this clip with Evelyn Lozada and her daughter. I want to play that clip and then we will get into it. Let me just do one quick... Actually, there's one quick thing that I wanted to also say on the point was Robin also said something similar. Let me play that for you guys.
I saw the same person, you know, from years prior, the same person that I've known from over the years. That was the same person who did that interview. What do you mean by that? A lot of the same, like, deflection. Okay. Not, I feel like there was some accountability, but not in like a, what I wanted to really see from her was like a sincere apology.
Right, exactly. So it sounds like there was some accountability, but not full accountability. And I know people don't like Robin, but I think considering what other people are also saying, I think there is some truth to that.
Apology or a sincere acknowledgement of drunk driving is never okay. Yeah. I apologize to all of the, you know, all the victims and victims' families of drunk drivers. Like, this is a really serious matter. Like, I really wanted to see her attack that topic. Yeah. And just kind of like say, like, what I did is never acceptable, blah, 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 blah. And what I felt like I saw was like a lot of blame shifting and a lot of deflection. And and then a lot of...
Which is pretty consistent with Karen and how she behaves normally anyway.
Trying to, like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like she almost didn't want to embrace the alcoholism part and was putting it more on like the prescription drugs. And I felt like that in a way, I feel like prescription drugs. And I felt like that in a way was kind of trying to blame whomever prescribed her these drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But in not in her defense, but we knew Karen drank. We drank with Karen. Right. But I that was the first time I had heard anything about pills or any type of anything adding to drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. But it's not, I don't find it hard to believe. Oh no, I believe her. But just even like, you know, even trying to like, you know, be shady towards Wendy, like that was unnecessary. You know, it was like,
okay, I forgot that part. What happened there?
Wendy said, someone told her, like, I don't know, she met someone and they were like, oh, that lady always day drinking, which we know is true.
Right.
And, oh, who would talk to Wendy? She's a...
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, I think Karen doesn't like Wendy. I don't know what is going on there, but she really doesn't like Wendy. So any opportunity to clown Wendy, I definitely think that Karen will take it.
Well, no, oh, I see. But she admitted that though, right? She admitted
it happened 20 years ago in Legal Seafood.
Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean? And then, but I'm just saying, like, her throwing a dig at Wendy because she lives far away and who would talk to Wendy, like, that was unnecessary. It was, no, just, let's just take accountability and let's not deflect. Let's just kind of prescription drugs. And I felt like that in a way was, let's just kind of address the topic head on and be kind of remorseful.
Yeah, I definitely did not get that vibe from Karen, to be honest. I really did not get that she was being like, oh, remorseful about it. I think she was just being her usual Karen self. So it's like, do with that what you will, but that's just who Karen is, right? And that's how she is showing up as.
And let's try to like send a message to the people out here, like, I am sorry because I know a lot of people have lost loved ones from drunk drivers and that is never okay. Yeah. Because she even tried to not even say that she was drunk like this. I don't know. It was weird. She tried to downplay. Andy said, oh, you had 4 DUIs. No, I had 2. Like, and the other one were, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just own it. Just own it. So I just felt like if I was a victim of a drunk driver, like I would have been totally disappointed in that interview.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Even to go as far as like to blame.
Yeah, I definitely think that what Robin is saying is true. And I think like it may be the wrong messenger, but yes, I definitely think what Robin is saying is true. Like some of the clips I saw, it was just like there was explanations for everything. There wasn't enough ownership for me. And that's why I say for me, because for some people that's enough. People don't mind the deflection. People don't mind having excuses and not really taking full accountability. That's your perspective. But from my perspective, I feel like it just was given that she was shifting the blame. She wasn't really taking full accountability. That's just where I stand on that particular issue. Now, to the final thing that we're going to cover before we go to bed tonight is this clip. Okay. Now, this clip really made me sad. Like, it's something to see the impact on this lady. Listen to her voice, watch her facial expressions. This is someone who is deeply hurt by her now circumstance. Now, I don't blame her because we know the game does not change no diapers. So she is pretty much doing everything alone. I will not be surprised if he doesn't help her with grocery runs or anything like that. Anything that is important when it comes to like physically taking care of a child. I don't think for a second that he helps her in that way. And so I'm going to have to at least put that out there. So maybe that's just also some of the context that some of y'all may be missing, but let's watch it together.
Like kids' parties. Sometimes after kids' parties, I feel like, you know, because you see, I go to kids' parties and the parents are actually together. I don't mean like fake together to cut the cake, like the family is together. So like kids' parties, or it will be even random. Like when I'm at the grocery store, you know, and it's like, you know, dad helping the mom pick something up from the thing to put it in the coche, and then the baby is there and you're unloading into the car. I've done so much unloading and stuff by myself.
And this is what I mean. It's like she has had to do all of that by herself. And the thing is, even if the man ain't with you, if the man is very present, he would be helping with everything that you need. He would be doing grocery runs because his baby gotta eat. You have to eat, right? But that's the problem with like dating someone who does not want to be a present father. This is what you get. And it's so, so sad because you can tell that she's deeply hurt that this is her reality. I feel really bad for her.
But then I'm like, man, I would be unstoppable if I had that like help because I'm doing all the things. So I'm proud of myself. But yeah, like those, I have moments like that where I got at the grocery store, at kids' parties when I leave, or even if it's not the family's kids' party, but it's just a dad that came with mom to help her with the kid at the kids' party kind of thing. I would feel bad at pediatrician appointments.
That is so, so sad. This lady is like, her life has completely changed because she messed with the wrong one. And it's so sad because it's just like you have to protect yourself as women. Like, I don't care if the man is coming and he's acting so this and so that. You need to watch him and vet him. Like, of all people, there was nothing about the game that was given a family man who was going to be out here taking care of the kids and being that present father that you are looking for. And it almost feels like she was gamed by the game. I know it sounds cheesy because, you know, his name is the game, but I actually feel like she was gamed because he even made a comment about like, when you see a baddie, you want to put a baby in her, something along those lines, which then gives you the impression, was this even intentional? Like, did the girl think she was safe and she was not? Like, these are some of the questions that I have, right? And I just think it's so, so sad. And I think that I feel so bad for her. I think she's very naive. I don't understand why she's so naive because her mom has had a lot of experience, and I would have thought her mom would teach her a thing or two about these men. But it seems like she really is very naive, and I just feel so bad for her. And I really do hope she gets a second chance and finds someone who will take good care of her, who would be present, who would help her with grocery runs and do that and more, who would even do grocery runs, you know, without even her having to stress. I'd be like, oh, baby, I got you. Let me go to the store and I have what we need. I know what we need. You know, so I really do hope that she gets that because you can tell that she's definitely heartbroken. She really doesn't feel like this was the life that she signed up for. And that is what makes it so sad.
You know?
Yeah.
That would. Yeah. And in the beginning, like I would be like, well,
right.
You know.
Yeah, you feel bad because you feel like you shouldn't be on this journey
No,
by yourself.
like kids' parties.
Yeah, no, I feel so sad. Someone said this is sad and it was 100% avoidable. Absolutely. But the problem is she was already tied in. So she probably felt like she couldn't. Why do women have to have babies to realize and understand this? I really don't understand. She's so beautiful and seems so sweet. There's a husband for her out there. Don't dwell on mistakes. Keep on moving. Yes, I'm going to like this one because I really hope for her. I feel so bad for her. I know she picked him, but still, she sounds so defeated. Yes, she absolutely does. And I feel so bad for her, but I hope that things change for her. I hope that she realizes that there are other amazing men out there that will take good care of her and that baby. And I hope that she finds someone that would do that for her. But yeah, on that note, guys, I'm tired. I'm feeling a headache. I need to get into bed now. But thank you guys so much for hanging with us tonight. It's been a fantastic night. You guys came up, you guys showed up and showed out, and you guys were really engaging in the chat. For that, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, everybody. Please hit that like button again if you haven't already. And for those who are the replay gang, put it in the chat. Let me know if you're in the replay gang. Thanks for listening. Thank you for your support. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I do commentary on reality TV shows and celebrity news and hot topics. So subscribe. And turn on your notifications so you know every single time that I post or go live. And thank you everyone again, and I will see you guys. Have a wonderful night. Happy Monday again, everybody. Good night. Bye.